Ned. So it's time. Finally, it's been a few days, but Neddy is now available to hatch. So, of course, Neddy is the current dragon of the month, and we managed to breed him on our third attempt. The breeding guide is out if you need to know exactly what to use to breed him, but he was a pretty simple breed overall for me. But little Neddy here, of course, is the dragon form of the NPC character, Ned, who is the really awkward virgin Ned, basically. But this is a legendary earth and water dragon. And now, if Ned Dragon was a divine dragon, he's basically just legendary Nezha, which makes him much worse than Nezha, but he is just a legendary version in that sense, because, you know, water and earth are super defensive elements, and we really love those for the dungeon, but because he's a legendary, you're just not going to get much value out of him. So Ned may not be very useful for your team, but he is definitely useful for the yearly collection. So, amazing! A dragon resembling this trainer's dear son Ned! The Ned dragon is timid at first, but smart as could be. As it grows, its friends help it gain the confidence to tackle any challenge. And we do get, of course, dragon collector points for hatching this dragon of the month. And here is little baby Ned in all of his glory. Now, I have to say, out of all of the water monstrosities that have this body type, I think Ned is probably one of the best ones. Definitely close to one of the better looking dragons. And compared to his NPC character, I think that dragon form Ned is a big step up in terms of design. Very cute. He's basically just a little spring onion as a baby. And then if we level him up to, let's say, level 20... then we'll be able to take a look at the adult form version of this dragon. And there he is! Look at him! Enjoying all of his food there. Look at him having a munch. Very tasty fruities. You know, they do look tasty. I would love to try out some fruits like this IRL. I doubt that's ever going to happen. But he looks pretty happy here. I don't know why his still image makes him look really angry all the time. But he looks pretty happy in-game, which is nice. And now, of course, now that we have Ned, we can do the very adult thing, and we can go into the breeding den, and we can type in Ned, and we can also type in Arya, and we could say, ha ha ha, Arya and Ned have now bred. You know, that is a very adult thing to do. Definitely not childish whatsoever, and that is 100% why I'm going to do it. But just in case you didn't know, breeding legendaries together, divines or ancients, is not a good idea. Don't ever do it, because you've only got a chance of actually creating a dragon with 2 elements, and the elements are randomized, so we got like a super long timer, all things considered. But, haha, Ned and I are bred. I'm so gonna do that so many times if we get an Eliza dragon, you have no idea. I'm so ready for it. Speaking of this collection, the question is now, who are we actually to expect in the upcoming months? Of course, the yearly collection that I'm talking about is that Doppelganger Dragons collection, and we've got the Doppelganger Dragons Dragonlanders. And Ned's not appearing in this collection for some reason because they broke it. But we got the other dragons to hatch from this collection, which should be interesting to see who they bring out next. I'm imagining HOGWIN will be soon. But the reward dragon was actually revealed for what this was going to be, if you weren't sure. And it is the Academy Dragon, which was also revealed in the DML news section of the Discord server. So it says, you've heard much about the Academy Dragon, now see it in action. This stalwart defender can be yours if you collect all 3 dragons of the month from the Doppelganger collection, Arya, Ned, and HOGWIN. So we do know that the next one is HOGWIN, and then after that, the question is, are we going to get any more Eliza? Please, I'm desperate for Eliza. And then any of the others that are going to come out, that should be nice and intriguing. Definitely. It also shows 4 dragons here, and then you can get the reward dragon. And yet in the Discord post it says if you collect all 3, you'll get the dragon. So it seems there's more communication issues here. Don't worry about it. Apparently it's just 3 of them. But then if we take a look at this Instagram post, then this is the actual video showcasing that Academy Dragon, which we have actually seen before. It's just we haven't seen, I guess you could say, it in-game, its in-game version, because we just saw the teaser art of it and the different forms that they put forward. But this is going to be the reward dragon for breeding the 3 doppelgangers at the beginning of this year. So, you Ned, HOGWIN, we get a free dragon that's got a book for a tail. So, that should be intriguing, right? We should like that. That'll be nice. So that is the newest news regarding that Doppelganger collection. So that's the main reason why most of us want to get all of these legendaries. It's not to add to our team. It's not to use on our teams or anything like that. It's pretty much exclusively just to, you know, get the collections finished. But aside from that, of course, we've had the solo events going on, dungeon. I haven't really been doing that because I have not really been logging in at all. I've been very sick. That's why I was gone skis. And I guess we'll watch this do autoplay. Let's do that. I always find it interesting to see how badly the AI can mess up this dungeon run. But yeah, the thing to be mindful of is that next week we are going to have the castle event now. And for anyone that's never seen a castle event before, I've got plenty of videos up on the channel of castle events. If you have never seen one before, it's probably worth checking them out just so that you know, have some idea of what to expect. But since the upcoming castle event is going to be completely different to anything that we've had in game before for a castle event, there are going to be some changes, so I'll probably go through those on day one. I think the biggest question on everyone's minds at the moment is how we're going to finish off the later tier battling quests when we've got this new changed energy system. Like at the moment I haven't spent any of my map energy, well my portal energy, the overcharge energy now. So I would be fine, but if you were someone that was optimal and spent all of that energy and relies on the consistent energy coming back, I don't know if it's going to be doable or not. So that is definitely something that we need to check out when the event starts. But I would say overall, the sooner they fix this this divine AI as well, the better off everyone will be. Because, like, I get now that the reason that the auto battling uses divine against the enemies a lot is because exclusively that it's just a strong attack. Like you'll see Langshan just used metal because it was a strong attack, Ikaz just used fire because it's a strong attack. So that is the main reason why the AI does that. But like if they'd have just blessed there, we could have gone for another like 30 dragons. So this AI is definitely bad. I mean, DML's AI's always been terrible, if you can even call it AI. For how basic it is. So, yeah, it definitely needs a fixie. By a fixie, I mean actually programming, because it's clearly just not programmed properly. Oh my goodness god, I've said that, and yet Nezha just healed. Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. And it blessed. Oh my god, it's like it's trying to prove me wrong. But you saw it didn't bless for any other instances anyway. But yeah, if the AI actually blesses, it can go for a while in the dungeon and everywhere else. And like, leech as well? You're being optimal? It's almost being optimal. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, the sooner they actually program that in to work properly, the better off everyone will be. 24! 24 KOs, really? That's the point that we're at? 24? But yeah. Of course, not logging in through being ill is gonna put me way behind during this dungeon event. Not that this dungeon week was a particularly good one to grind anyway, but every single week is important to grind if you want as many dragons as possible. So the idea is just dungeon grind, mini event completing. I've not done any of that either. I might get this one tier done for collecting gold and catching creatures, and that's pretty much gonna be it. But during castle event, if you do want to finish off the castle event, remember you do need the castle dragon for that Chrono Nezha collection. So if you do want to get Chrono Nezha, you do have to get the Imperial Egg. Which means that finishing off the castle events is probably going to be big on people's priority lists. Like the solo event to get Aphrodite, not everyone's going to care about that. But getting the castle dragons is probably going to be important for a lot of us. So I hope that they balanced it correctly. We will see in the next few days, but in the meantime, I guess get as much breeding out as you can, especially if you're trying to build up your dragon collector points to unlock, say, Divine level 6 skills, that now is the perfect time to be doing that outside of the castle event, because when the castle event starts, you can't really afford to give up all of those breeding points. And look at me here. I'm such a cuck, actually clicking habitats to collect gold. You know, I lived off of VIP for so long. But now that I'm not making any purchases in DML, it's just, this is my life now. I cannot believe I have sunk to this level of poorness in DML. Nah, it's a good workout for the fingers, huh? Oh, I hate it. I do have VIP, but, you know, if there's any time I'm going to use VIP, it would be during the castle event weeks and things like that. Not that I need to use it with overcharge energy at the moment, but mainly for the breeding. And to reduce the breeding times is the reason why I'd suggest using VIP tickets during, like, castle event weeks instead of other weeks. So, you know, especially when you got a limited amount of VIP tickets, they do make a big difference, and it's important that you save them for the times that actually matter. So no matter how much I may hate clicking all of these habitats, you know, it's important that we save them if we want to get any value out of them whatsoever. If you've also, say, bred divines and ancients, if that ever happens, or you're just hatching them, it's a good idea to use them during that as well, because it takes off days worth. So that's a thing. And we do also have some deals in the Whale Mart. Not too many, but better than nothing. And one thing that I'm still going to praise them for, even if it is a little bit expensive, is continuing to bring back these Dragon Master Pass dragons. I do still think that they're pretty much like pay-only acquirable, because 75 gems per piece is like an extortionate cost. But at least they are bringing these dragons back. You know, one thing that I did notice that I would love for them to bring back? Breedable divines. Because, like, if you remember the original way that Aphrodite was released and Pangu was released, it was breeding events. So I would really love for them, considering how many divines we actually have in the game now, to actually see these come back in free-to-play available breeding events again. Because how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50... There's near on 60 divine dragons in the game now, and they're pretty much all time-gated. Like, we don't have a single breedable divine. Why is that? Why can't we just have one bad divine that we can breed, like, Loki? Why don't we have Loki as a breedable? Remember when we used to have some breedables, like Pangu? I got very lucky with that, and I'm not saying the odds have to be super high, but I mean, it's been a very long time since we've had that be a thing. Same with ancients. Give us some of the worse ancients to breed. At least give people the ability to breed some. It is a dragon breeding game. SMH. I guess I know the reason why is because money. But even giving people the chance to just breed some bad divines, like, is that really asking too much? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I guess for now, I will leave you there. But best of luck with all of your NED breedings and any other breedings. Again, this is the week to be breeding. Next week is not the week to be breeding. Same with the 4th week of the castle event. But I guess for now, I will continue collecting divine tickets, which I don't have many. But I'll continue to collect some whenever I do log in, and then we will spend them all at once, probably, on one singular dragon. And I don't know who that's going to be yet. Maybe it'll be Zeus, maybe it'll be Bridget. Guess we'll find out when the time does come skis. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and best of luck.